guys, welcome back to our channel. It's Sophie. So for today's video, I'm just going to be showing you guys how I do my eyebrows, and I'm really happy with the way that I do my brows. I would consider them to be somewhat natural. There's quite a bit of a process for me to get my brows to look like this, but I'm really happy with where it's at. So if you guys are interested in knowing how I achieve it, then just go ahead and keep on watching. So the first thing I'm doing is going in with this Morphe brow gel, and this is what it looks like, and I like it because it's not too strong of a hold. So I just basically run it through my eyebrow and make sure that all of the hairs are going in the same direction. And a good tip for you guys is to make sure that your brow gel dries down completely before going on to the next step, because if your brow gel is still wet, it's going to make our next brow powder really wet and it's going to look not the way that we want it to look. So please make sure that your brow hairs are completely dry from the brow gel before moving on to the next step. So next, I'm just picking up this really small angled brush, and unfortunately guys, all the brushes that I use, the numbers have come off. They're a little old. So next, this is the product that I usually use, and I'm really sad and depressed because it's completely shattered. So for this video, I had to use a completely different product that I have never used before. So I went ahead and picked up this City Color Bold Brow Powder Duo. I'll leave the name to this exact product down below, but I just picked up this dark brown shade, and it was super similar to my ABH Brow Powder Duo, so I wasn't too scared to try it out. So pretty much I grab that angled brush and I just start to do feather strokes on the outer tail, and I start with the outer tail and I build layers, and I feel like that's how I get my brows to look the most natural, but I get them to look like they have a little bit more of a fill and a little bit more shape to them. So I'm going in with my second layer, and I go in with very little product at a time, and I'm just starting to apply this brow powder where the sparse areas are. So this is going to be different for everybody because everyone has different sparse areas, but I'm just trying my best to mimic brow-like strokes and going in with as little product as possible. And honestly guys, I barely go in with any product. I used to go really in with a lot of product, but I feel like going in with less is the best. Next, I'm just picking up my ABH Brow Whiz, and I'm going in with the spoolie part first, and I'm just going to brush through my brow and just really make sure that everything is nice and blended with that powder product. And I really brush through my brow, and I don't want it to look like I drew them in. I want it to look like a very natural brow. So just really going in with that spoolie, I go through my brow like 5 times before I go on to the next step. Next, I'm going into the pencil part of my Brow Whiz, and I'm just once again drawing into the sparse areas, and I'm going in with a very light hand and once again mimicking the motion of brow-like strokes. And I do a very faint line on the bottom of my brow just to give it a little bit more shape, a little bit more definition, and then going back in with that spoolie and really brushing through it and taking away any harsh lines and making sure that it looks very blended. Next, I'm picking up my NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer in the color Light Ivory, and personally I like to add a very light concealer on the bottom half of my brow just to give it a little bit of a highlight. So I'm just applying this as precisely as possible underneath my brow and just really adding definition and shape to it. All of the brushes that I'm using are by ABH, so they're all by Anastasia Beverly Hills. And I really love this one right here because I like to squeeze the tip of it, and the precision of this really small angled brush is absolutely amazing. I love using this brush to cut my crease as well for eyeshadow looks, but it's perfect for cleaning up underneath the brow because you can get a really precise line. So for the inner part of my brow, I like to draw the line out further than my actual brow just to help me get the straightness of it and just really make it a straight line. It just really helps to bring it out a little bit extra. And then for the top half of my brow, I like to use a very natural product that's as close to my skin as possible. And my favorite one to use right now is the MakeupForever Ultra HD Foundation Stick in the color R330. And honestly, this part right here took me a lot of practice, and it just takes a lot of practice to get a precise line, but practice makes perfect, so just practice as much as you can. My personal tip for you guys is to start off far away from your brow and then slowly bring that line in, because if you take the line out farther, it will be a little bit easier to clean up any mistakes, and it will just kind of make it easier to make that line look precise. And then I grab this little smudger brush. I'm not really sure what the name of this brush is, but I like to blend out the top half of my brow, or I mean above my brow first, since it's a darker product. And then I like to blend the bottom, and really dragging down that concealer is going to make blending a hell of a lot easier. That way you don't have to get so close to that really precise line and you don't mess it up. So definitely take your products out a little bit so that you have some room to blend them. And then for the inner half of my brow, I try my best to be very precise about the way that I do this so that it doesn't mess up all of the hard work that we did. So I just go up and down to kind of diffuse and make a really faint line at the front of my brow. And then I just grab my foundation brush to help me further blend the edges and just make sure that everything looks really blended and there's no obvious mark that we used concealer to carve our brow, which is the most important thing. Next, I'm going in with some translucent powder. My personal favorite at the moment is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Setting Powder in the color Cupcake. And I'm just using this to set underneath the brow. And I don't really touch the top of my brow, to be honest. I just kind of set underneath it. And I just go in with a lot of translucent powder just to make sure that none of it budges. So this next step is definitely optional and it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I personally love the look of wispy brows. So I pretty much just picked up my spoolie and sprayed it with some Fix Plus and then ran it through my Dove bar soap and then ran it through my brow, and I definitely feel like it gives my brows a very natural look. And then I went back in with that translucent powder and that fluffy brush just to blend out any imperfections or mistakes that we made using that really wet brow gel, or I mean bar soap. And this is the finished look, guys. Kind of tedious and there's like little details and it definitely takes a long time. I definitely do not do this brow every single day or when I go to the gym or when I run errands. This is just my brow when I want to look a little bit more cleaned up and a little bit more presentable. But this is the end of the video. If you've watched it all the way to the end, thank you so much for supporting our channel. The giveaway winner for the month of January is Marlene Makeup Love. So shout out to her. Thank you so much for watching our videos, and thank you so much for leaving a comment and just really making our day. If you guys want to be entered for our monthly giveaways, then just go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you turn on your post notifications and then comment done down below. Thank you so much, guys, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!